Hey guys, it's Becca. I am back for my week 51 check-in of my Atelier online drawing training program. Getting very close to that 1 year mark. It's pretty exciting. So this week I was working mostly on master copies from Eric Geist, who is a very, very skilled, awesome artist from the Watts team. And I was also focusing on drawing a little bit more large scale because I felt like I was getting very reliant on drawing at the exact same size and knowing that specific features were going to be more or less the same size. So when I went a little bit larger, it was a bit disorienting. So I was just trying to make sure that I'm not getting too hooked on using one scale or one medium or whatever. So that's why I was drawing larger this week. It takes a little bit longer, but I think it's worth it. So the master copies, take a very long time, usually several days for me to get through a whole one with all the steps because I find myself redoing things a lot. So I'll pick up something and I'll notice it, and so I'll be like, okay, I see what he's doing in the beard or whatever. And then I'll try and do it the first time and it just doesn't work. So I'll try to do it the second time, and usually the second time it works a little bit better, and sometimes I need to do it a third time. But I think that's sort of how the process of specific learning goes. Clover. So I think when you're doing quick sketch, for example, you are learning a lot, but it's less intentional. You're just sort of picking up what you pick up as you go along. Whereas if you're doing master copies, you're really looking at specific things, which is good because it helps you learn those things, but sometimes it takes a long time because you end up, maybe, at least I do, getting focused on really specific things, and then when you take a step back, you're like, oh, dang it, I just spent 20 minutes drawing an eye and it's not in the right place. So that's why these took a little bit longer. And when I show the drawings at the end, I'm going to show them by progress, not by day, because I think it'll be more interesting to see that, and I was working on a couple different ones at a time. So it should be cool just to see how each step looks and how it progresses to a finish. But that being said, I'm still learning a lot, and I'm still in that same cycle that I was talking about last week where I'll do a drawing that's pretty good, and then the next one's okay, and then a really good one, and then I'll just have one that's just honestly god-awful. And it's really just jarring when you step back and see something and you're like, what the heck? How is that so bad? But now I'm kind of getting used to that and not thinking that my bad drawings are the definition of, or my level of skill, I guess a testament to my skill. They just happen. So if you're doing a lot of bad drawings, but sometimes you're doing good drawings, I think that's still progress. And last but not least, my rant of the week. I hope I don't actually rant every week. I thought that was gonna be funny, and now I'm like, oh my god, do I actually rant every week? Ugh. Anyway, pencils. I know, I'm a year in and I'm still talking about the pencils. It is ridiculous. Now that I'm doing sort of like darker values and trying to shade in larger areas, I'm just having a lot of trouble using these pencils. Sometimes I feel like I could go over the same area a million times and it still wouldn't get black. It just sort of like stays at some weird waxy like mid-tone value. And sometimes I'll be going in the dark area and I'll get one of those little gristly pieces and I will literally like shred a piece of my paper. And that obviously is very frustrating. So I don't know. I have watched so many demos of Jeff and Eric drawing, and they never seem to have a problem with this. It's honestly baffling. So that's my rant of the week. Otherwise, things are going really well. I think I like to see the master copies because they show a lot of progress. And you just learn a lot from them. So, week 51, on to the drawings.